few weeks ago, I shared my top travel hacks, and loads of you said that you wanted to see my packing tips. Well, today is your lucky day. I am sharing everything from space-saving tips to how I pack awkward items like hats, and just general packing hacks to save you a lot of hassle, as well as where I stand on the old folding versus rolling debate. I'm also including a free packing list so you don't forget anything. You will find the link to that in the description box below. For the purposes of this video, I am going to stick to checked-in luggage, so if you want to see what I pack in my carry-on, let me know in the comments below. Let's go! All of the rhyming. Hi guys, it's Laura from How to Get Your Shit Together, and I help you get organized, get motivated, and pack a perfect suitcase. Before you even begin, the first thing you should do is check your airline's baggage restrictions. Now, each airline is going to have different restrictions in terms of weight and dimensions, so make sure that you double check before you go. If you've got a connecting flight or you are flying home with a different airline, for example, don't forget to check the second airline too. Not all allowances were created equal. You could be the world's most perfect packer, but if your bag is too heavy or too wide, you're likely going to be hit with additional charges. And that's your holiday ruined before you even get on the plane. So check the restrictions, write them down, and then measure and weigh your suitcase once it's full to make sure that you are within the limits. For the love of lollipops, write a list, or use the one that I have provided for you. It means that you are considerably less likely to forget something. And don't start scribbling it down the night before either. That is as good as not having a list at all. Start a few days in advance. So think back to your last trip about what you needed, what you maybe brought too much of, and what would have been handy to bring. Check everything off your list as you are putting it into your case, and then pack the list. It will ensure that you don't forget anything when you are packing to come home. Honestly, if you are not working off a list, you're dead to me. Or you're my husband. Tip number 3 is to bring a travel adapter. Self-explanatory, really. Tip 4 is to mix and match. Now, I realize not everyone is as anal as I am, but I find that it really helps to write an outfit list. Calculate how many outfits you think you'll need, then eliminate about a third of them, and then literally write out each item in each outfit, including shoes, jewelry, sunglasses, underwear, etc. Each item should work in 2 or more different outfits. You don't want to be taking up space in your suitcase with a pair of shoes that only goes with one outfit, or worse, none at all. An outfit list will stop you bringing extra clothes you don't need and will help you avoid the situation where you bring 5 bottoms and 10 tops, and then you get there only to realize that half the tops don't go with any of the bottoms, or you forgot all your underwear. And remember too that clothes can always be washed wherever you're going, even if it's just a quick scrub in the sink, so don't feel the need to pack extra outfits just in case. Folding versus rolling. Personally, I fold. I use the KonMari method of folding. I have a video on that which I will link in the description box below. It's so that I can quickly and clearly see everything I have. But I'm just going to go ahead and say that I don't think there is a wrong way to pack clothes. As far as I'm concerned, once they're all squished in there, they take up the same amount of space. If you roll, good for you. If you can somehow manage to roll your clothes without wrinkling them, which is supposed to be the case, then you clearly have some superpower that I have not yet mastered. Teach me your ways, O wise one. I do roll underwear, which is then very handy for filling in tiny spaces. I have a video demo on how I roll them, so you can check that out in the description box below. Tip number 6 is to separate everything. Use bags, pouches, packing cubes, tissue paper, whatever. For clothes, separate whites, colours, darks, and underwear. Pouches are also great for keeping travel adapters, chargers, small electronics, etc. all together. I save the ones that they give you on transatlantic flights, but honestly, you can pick up cheap pouches in most discount stores. I also use hair bands to keep cables together. And then obviously you should have separate sealed bags for your toiletries and cosmetics. Speaking of toiletries, bring as little as possible, or none at all. Unless you are camping in the wilderness, it is very unlikely that they are not going to have toiletries where you're going. And hey, your shampoo can't explode in your bag if you don't bring any. Or if you're traveling with someone, you don't both need to bring the same product. If you do insist on bringing some toiletries, then opt for sample sizes if you can. Back when I used skincare products, a long time ago, anytime I was buying a product, I would ask for a few samples as well. I didn't feel guilty about it because I was already buying a product, but to be honest, salespeople are generally pretty generous with the samples, as long as you're nice about it. All you have to do is say that you just want to see if it suits your skin. The bonus is that samples can be discarded as soon as they're finished, so you don't even have to bring them all the way home with you. Otherwise, decant everything into smaller bottles. You don't need a big giant bottle of shampoo when you're only going away for a week. You can buy travel size bottles in a lot of stores, or you probably already have some small bottles that you brought home from previous hotel stays, or at a push, pill bottles are also very handy. Just to be sure to label them so you don't end up using your expensive shampoo to moisturize your legs. If you travel a lot, it can be really handy to have a separate toiletries bag that's always packed and ready to go, so all you have to do is grab it. But always have them in a sealed plastic container so that if they do explode, the damage is contained. Tip number 8 is to stuff. Things can very quickly get squished in your bag, so here are a few tips for helping things keep their shape. To help shirt collars keep their shape, store belts inside. For hats, create a hollow in your clothes, place your hat in there upside down, and then fill it with clothes to help it retain its shape. For bras, stack them and then put underwear or socks or small camisoles inside the cups. For shoes, stuff them with socks and underwear. This will also help to save some space. If you're a bit iffy on the state of the inside of your shoes, then pop the socks and underwear in a plastic bag first. Speaking of which, tip number 9 is to bring bags. Ziploc bags, for example, are great for separating out your items, particularly small little things. They're great for dirty or wet clothes. Or if you travel with kids, you probably know the scenario where they eat like half an apple or a banana and then just give you the rest. And then you'll need to clean sticky fingers with a wet wipe, but there's no bin nearby. But I have to say that I have found nappy bags to be better, or diaper bags. They're generally cheaper, you can fit a lot more in them, and because they tie at the top, you can leave a little space so that they're a bit more breathable. To cover the soles of your shoes so that they don't destroy your clothes, use plastic bags or a drawstring bag, or even those disposable shower caps, just pop them over. Tip number 10 is to bring baby wipes, or antibacterial wipes if you're a bit of a germaphobe. As well as the aforementioned sticky fingers, baby wipes are also great for removing stains from clothes, for wiping down surfaces, for freshening up a little bit if you're feeling a bit clammy, etc. 11 is to pack a large scarf, pashmina, wrap type thing. It can be used as a scarf, as a wrap to keep you warm, as sun protection or a beach cover-up, as a pillow, as kind of a picnic blanket or beach towel to sit on, or in a pinch, a towel to dry yourself off with. Multi-purpose. Bring items that can be used up and left behind. Aforementioned samples for a start, but also clothes. If there's something that's kind of past its prime, pack it, wear it, and then dump it in the bin before you come home. It's great for camisoles or, layering pieces that maybe have a bit of a stain on them or a tiny little hole. Fine for wearing underneath a t-shirt, but realistically, you're not going to hang on to them long term. So give them one last hurrah and then hurl them in the bin. Another item that can be used up is snacks. Make sure to pack some. This depends on where you're going, obviously, because some countries have very strict rules about bringing food in, so make sure you double check before you go. But if you can, pack snacks. They are great for so many reasons. If you find that all of the restaurants and shops are closed, like in some European cities where they close down for the afternoon. If you arrive at your destination too late for dinner. If the minibar wants to charge you your firstborn. If you're traveling with kids, assuming you haven't already sacrificed them to the mini fridge gods. If the local food doesn't agree with you, or like me, you're just a picky eater. I also know that some people like to pack their favourite tea bags. Now, I don't drink tea, but if I did, that sounds like a perfectly reasonable and sensible thing to do. Never pack valuables. Never put expensive or irreplaceable things in your checked-in luggage if you can avoid it. Now, obviously, you're not going to be happy to lose any of your stuff, but if you are bringing Family heirlooms, for example, they should be kept on your person or in your carry-on. If you have to bring them for some unfathomable reason, then have the airport encase your luggage in plastic wrap. It costs you money, but much, much less than if you had to replace all of your stuff. It's not going to stop your entire case from going missing, but it will stop a few light-fingered individuals from lifting your laptop. Tip number 15 is to bring a piece of home with you. If you tend to feel homesick and sleeping in a strange bed makes you feel very unsettled and uncomfortable, then consider packing a pillowcase from home. It's not going to be the same as your own pillow, of course, but sometimes just the familiar smell can be enough to comfort you and help you get a good night's sleep. If there's another small trinket, emphasis on small, that reminds you of home, bring that too. Tip number 16 is to unpack as soon as you can. I know when you arrive, you're tired and it's just easier to leave everything in your case, but it's going to get even more wrinkled, more musty smelling, and then you're just going to end up tossing things all throughout the room when you're looking for stuff, and everything will be really messy. Just unpack properly when you get there and then stash the case. And then when you know that you're done with something and you're not going to use it again before the end of the trip, pack it away in your suitcase, and that will make the repacking process so much quicker and easier. And the final tip is to always leave some space for souvenirs. Now, a lot of the above tips will have helped you save some space, but don't feel the need to fill that void. Just because your weight limit is a certain amount doesn't mean that you should be as close as possible to that amount. Leave some space for souvenirs or some other things that you might happen to pick up on your travels. Don't forget to pick up your free packing list in the description box below, and let me know in the comments what your top packing tip is. I need them. I hate traveling. And go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you love to travel and you found these tips helpful. And hey, maybe your next holiday could be to Ireland. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, because I upload new videos every Thursday to help you live a simpler, happier life. If you're on YouTube, the button looks like this and you will find it down there. Until next time, happy packing, cura míle maith, agus feici mé sibh go luath. Slán.